Morning students, this is video 20. So we will continue with chronic renal failure. Last class we dealt with acute renal failure. The pathophysiology would be the same. Okay, almost the same. So talking about the definition, chronic renal failure or end stage renal disease is a progressive irreversible deterioration in renal function in which the body's ability to maintain metabolic and fluid and electrolyte balance fail, resulting in uremia. Spelling mistake is there, uremia or azotemia. So what happens here, we see that chronic renal failure is also called as ESRD, end stage renal disease. So it is a progressive, irreversible, very difficult. When the patient reaches to this stage, it is very difficult to reverse back the normal functioning of the kidney. So in order to maintain metabolic and fluid and electrolyte balance. So it can result in uremia or azotemia. So azotemia means increased nitrogenous waste, waste products in the body. Now causes ESRD caused by systematic disease such as it can be because of diabetes mellitus, uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, hypertension. So usually if a person has hypertension, he is prone to develop DM, and DM person is prone to develop hypertension, and this both are actually involved in the functioning of the kidney. If it is not maintained properly, automatically it affects the kidney. Then chronic glomerulonephritis, so pyelonephritis, obstruction in the urinary tract. So all these are kidney disease itself which can lead to ESRD, and hereditary lesions in the kidney, infections, toxic agents. So there was one person who was working in abroad. So what happened was, he is a pharmacist. So he was actually trying to, pipette, right? You should have used in your science, chemistry class for doing this test, various clinical tests. Okay, so what happened, he was using and he aspirated that. So when he aspirated, it actually affected his lungs, his kidney. Okay, the chemical substance, when he aspirated, it went into the body via the blood, and it actually caused, damage to the kidney. So this person was advised, he was put on certain medication, and they said in abroad that you have to continue. And not only it affected the kidney, but what happened was, he actually had a lot of illnesses developing after that, breathing, difficulty in breathing and other associated problems, gastric problems. So he came down from abroad, and few days he was taking whatever tablet was given to him. Okay, a known acquaintance. Okay, so he was actually taking, and all of a sudden he stopped. So what happened, once he stopped, his kidney completely failed, and he's alive, but then he's still on dialysis. And what he did in between, he said, okay, I'll go to Ayurveda, I will try Ayurvedic treatment. So it actually affected him to the core. He was in his deathbed. Almost we thought that he will die. Okay, by God's grace, he's still alive, but he's still undergoing dialysis. So certain medications or chemicals can actually become toxic agents, which will directly affect the kidney. Then medications, then autosomal dominant, polycystic kidney disease account for 8 to 10 cases of ESRD. So even like polycystic kidney, we have seen a sac which is filled on the membrane of the kidney, right? So even that can lead to ESRD. So already 8 to 10 cases have been ruled out. So clinical manifestation, cardiovascular symptoms, when we say, it is hypertension, heart failure, pulmonary edema, pericarditis. It leads to all, cardiovascular symptoms like hypertension, heart failure, pulmonary edema, and pericarditis. Next you have other systemic manifestation, spelling mistake, STEMIC. So you have anorexia nervosa, the person will not feel like eating, nausea will be there, vomiting, hiccups, then altered level of consciousness, inability to concentrate. They won't be able to concentrate because of their ill health. And then you have muscle twitching, seizures, dermatological symptoms like severe itching will be there, mainly because of the uremic frost. What is this uremic frost? As we know, severe azotemia will be there. That is the nitrogenous waste products, like one urea nitrogen which has to be excreted. The kidney is unable to excrete it, so there is a so this gets accumulated in the body. So this severe azotemia what happens is when a person sweats, automatically even like salt, okay, it comes out as a azotemia crystal. You can see on the skin, and when we sweat, sometimes we can see the salts, right? So how it gets frosted there, like that, this crystal, uremic crystals get deposited on the skin and it becomes crystallized, okay, so it stays there. So you can see the uremic salts, okay. So that is uremic frost and deposit of urea crystals on the skin. Diagnosis or diagnostic procedure is to collection, physical examination. We can do urine analysis, sodium and water retention. Okay, so in the urine we can find out, then edema in the physical examination. Renal function test can be done. Then Bunn urea nitrogen, serum creatinine test can be done. You can include that too. Okay, next in the blood. Okay, next we'll go to management. So talking about management here, medical complications can be prevented or delayed by administering prescribed antihypertensive drugs. So when the person is on hypertension, making sure that person is taking adequate medications and he is keeping in control. Even diabetes, that the patient is in control, so that it does not control his or her glucose level, so it does not affect the kidney. Okay, so by which we can actually prevent. Now giving antacids, okay, anti-seizures agent, erythropoietin. It is an hormone which is actually produced primarily by the kidney. It plays a key role in the production of RBC. Now we know RBC only carries oxygen to the rest of the body. So for this we need erythropoietin. So as a medical management, we can, if it is lacking, because it is a hormone which is produced by the kidney, if it is not given, then again what will happen? There wouldn't be formation of RBC. So all we can do is we can give it as hormone. Erythropoietin hormone can be given as a replacement, so that the production of RBC will happen and carrying of oxygen to the other parts of the body will be carried out without any hindrance. Next, nutritional therapy. Adequate caloric intake and vitamin supplementation must be ensured. And a person also will be having anorexic, he will not feel like eating. So it is good that we give, vitamin supplementation, calorie intake, adequate. We have to make sure that the person is given adequate caloric intake. Then protein is restricted because of urea, uric acid and organic acid accumulated rapidly in the blood. So protein restricted food should be given. Then calories are supplied, SUPPLIED, supplied by carbohydrate and fat to prevent washing. So calorie should be given by carbohydrates, otherwise what will happen? The fat will be broken down. So in order to keep that intact, it is important that we give adequate carbohydrates as per the caloric requirement for the patient. Vitamin supplementation is necessary, as we have already seen, right? So vitamin supplements also should be given with adequate calorie diet. Talking about dialysis. Now dialysis is used to remove fluid and uremic waste products from the body when the kidneys cannot do so. So here dialysis should be made sure, because what is dialysis? It is a procedure which is done where artificially the cleansing of the blood will be done. So the dialysis will have a dialysate. It will do the functioning of a kidney. Okay, so artificial kidney. Okay, so like you have ventilator. So how it is artificial respiration it provides. Same like that. The dialysis has got a dialysate in it, so it does the functioning of a kidney. Okay, so it's used to remove fluid and uremic waste products from the body when the kidney cannot do so. It may be used to treat patient with edema and that does not respond to treatment. So even edema will come down, then all Bunn urea nitrogen creatinine will be washed out and blood pressure will be maintained. Okay, so the patient has to undergo dialysis for these reasons. Renal transplantation, kidney transplantation is the last option for the people who are not responding to any other treatment. Select donor, 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 and make arrangements for renal transplantation. So selecting donor is very, very important, because not all the kidney will be accepted by the patient. So kidney of their same blood. So usually it is relatives only give with the same blood. Okay, so you do have donors who can give their kidney, and sometimes even with the same blood, when it is kept in the patient's body, what happens is actually the body rejects it, it does not accept. So there are a lot of complication for renal transplant. So this idea is taken only if other treatment are failed. And this also, nobody will give kidney like that, it is expensive also, even the surgery to give to the donor, okay, it is very expensive. So nursing management for chronic renal failure: maintain fluid and electrolyte balance, assess fluid status, maintain intake and output chart, okay, limit fluid intake, okay, and make sure how much has to be prescribed, only that volume has to be given. And then maintain adequate nutrition, assess nutritional status, check weight, assess patient's nutritional dietary pattern. Already we have seen restricted high calorie, low protein, low sodium, low potassium snack between meals. Okay, then according to their weight, low, high, promote high intake of high biological value of protein foods like eggs, dairy. It has got biological protein food, so that can be given. So eggs, dairy products, meat can be given, and then patient food preferences with daily restriction. We should ask him what do you want to have and see. If it is according to the dietary restriction, we can give it to the patient. Check weight of the patient. We have to assess the nutritional pattern of the patient. Okay, so educate the patient and family. So here you will be educating about provide explanation of renal function, disease process, treatment options, provide oral and written information as appropriate about medication, fluid and dietary restrictions, explain about dialysis, purpose, precautions, etc. Okay, so this is about the education that is provided to the family. So with this, chronic renal failure is over.